The strange noise in the garden, that it was a quiet summer night. The sky was clear, and the stars were bright. Ryan, a 22-year-old young man, was sitting in his room playing an old video game. The windows were open, and a cool breeze was moving the curtains. Everything felt normal, calm, peaceful. Then it happened. A strange buzzing sound came from the garden behind his house. It wasn't like a bug or a bee. It sounded ... different, mechanical, faint, but sharp like a machine starting up. Ryan paused his game. He leaned forward, trying to listen more carefully. The sound came again, this time with a soft thud, like someone stepping on wet grass. His heart beat a little faster. He stood up and walked slowly to the window. He looked outside at first. He saw nothing. Just trees, bushes, and the small wooden fence around his garden. But then, something moved near the back corner. A shadow. No someone. A figure. It looked like a person crouching low, hiding behind the tall grass. Ryan squinted. That's when he saw it clearly. A soft blue glow was coming from the figure's jacket. Ryan's hands turned cold. Who would wear something glowing in the dark? He whispered to himself. He grabbed his flashlight and quietly went downstairs. The house was silent. His parents were away for the weekend. He was alone. He unlocked the back door and stepped outside. The grass felt cold under his feet. The buzzing sound had stopped now, but the blue light was still there, glowing faintly behind the bush. He turned on his flashlight and pointed it at the glow. A girl jumped up. She looked about his age. She had silver hair that shimmered even in the dark. Her eyes were big, glowing slightly like cat eyes. She was wearing a shiny, skin-tight jacket with strange symbols on it, symbols Ryan had never seen before. She looked shocked, afraid. "Please, don't call anyone," she whispered. Ryan froze. He had never seen someone like her before. She was breathing fast, looking around like someone was chasing her. Who are you?" Ryan asked, his voice shaking. "I'm not here to hurt you," she said. "I'm hiding." "From who?" he asked. She looked up at the sky, then back at him. "I don't have time to explain. Just please. I need a place to stay. Just for tonight." Ryan didn't know what to say. Every part of him wanted to run back into the house and lock the door. But something about the way she looked, cared, tired, lost it made him stop. He slowly lowered his flashlight. "Okay," he said. "Come inside." She followed him into the house. As they entered, Ryan noticed something strange. Her boots didn't leave any mud, even though the garden was wet. And when she touched the doorknob, it gave off a small spark. He led her to the kitchen and gave her a glass of water. She sat down, holding the glass with both hands, like she had never seen water before. "Thank you," she said quietly. "What's your name?" Ryan asked. "Lyra." That's single quotes S ... not a normal name. She smiled a little. "That's because I'm not from here." Ryan laughed nervously. "What? Are you from Canada or something?" Lyra didn't laugh. She looked at him and said softly, "I'm not from this planet." Ryan felt like someone punched the air out of his chest. He stared at her. She was serious. "What do you mean?" he asked. "I crash-landed here," she said. "I'm running from something. From someone. And I need help." Ryan stood up, his hands shaking. "This is a joke, right?" "I wish it was." She pulled something from her pocketa, small round device. It floated up in the air and started to spin. Then, a blue light came from it, forming a 3D hologram in the air. Ryan saw planets, stars, and one large glowing planet with rings around it. It wasn't Earth. "That's where I'm from," she said. Suddenly, the lights in the house flickered. The hologram disappeared. Lyra grabbed the device and turned it off. "They're coming," she said, standing up fast. "Who's coming?" Ryan asked. Lyra walked to the window and peeked through the curtain. "People who want me gone. People who are not human." Ryan followed her gaze. Down the street, a black car had stopped. Two men in dark suits stepped out. They were wearing sunglasses, even though it was night. "They worked for them," Lyra whispered. Cliffhanger ending. Ryan turned to her, confused and afraid. "What's going on? Who are you, really?" Lyra looked straight into his eyes. "I'm an alien on the run. And now, you're part of this." Ryan's heart was beating faster now. His mind raced with questions. An alien. Is this a dream? Lyra stood near the window, her silver hair glowing in the moonlight. The black car was still outside. The two men in suits were walking slowly, scanning each house like hunters searching for prey. Ryan moved to the door and locked it. "Why are they after you?" he whispered. Lyra turned. "Because I escaped. and I know something they want to keep secret. She took a deep breath and pulled down the collar of her shiny jacket. On her neck was a strange mark like a tattoo, but it glowed faintly. That's not a normal tattoo, Ryan said. It's a tracking mark, she replied. They use it on prisoners. I was not supposed to leave my planet, but I had no choice. Ryan sat down, confused. What do they want? They want to control Earth. But they do it slowly, quietly. They pretend to be human. They wear masks. Those two outside. Ryan looked back out the window. The men were now standing still, facing his house. Do they know you're here? He asked. They can sense my energy, she said. But your garden was covered in natural iron. It blocked my signal for a while. That's why I hid there. Ryan remembered the old iron tools his grandfather left in the garden. Maybe that's what helped her stay hidden. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. A sharp, cold sound in the quiet night. Ryan and Lyra both froze. Don't answer it, she whispered. The doorbell rang again, then came a knock, loud, heavy. Mr. Ryan Blake, a voice called out. We're with the energy department. Just a few questions. Ryan stayed silent. So did Lyra. After a minute, the knock came again. Then, silence. Ryan peeked through the curtain. The men were walking back to the car. One of them looked straight at the window. His eyes too shiny, too still. When the car drove away, Ryan finally breathed again. They'll come back, Lyra said. We have to leave. Leave. Go where? Ryan asked. Somewhere safe. Somewhere without cameras, wires, or towers. Ryan thought for a second. The old forest cabin. My uncle built it. No electricity, no signal. Lyra nodded. Perfect. They packed quickly. A flashlight, a water bottle, and some snacks. Ryan also grabbed a baseball bat just in case. As they left the house, Lyra held up her small floating device. It blinked twice and beeped softly. What's that? Ryan asked. A scanner. It checks for their signals. Right now, it's clear. They walked under the stars, staying off the main road. The forest was dark, but quiet. Lyra walked quickly, her eyes scanning everything. How long have you been on Earth? Ryan asked. 5 days, she replied. I landed in the hills, nearby, but my ship, it broke. I've been walking ever since. You don't look tired. I'm trained not to. Ryan laughed nervously. You talk like a soldier. I was one, she said. Back on my planet. I fought in the resistance. Then I discovered what they planned for Earth. So I ran. As they reached the cabin, Lyra stopped suddenly. Her scanner blinked red. What is it? Ryan asked. Someone's been here. Ryan opened the door slowly. The cabin was dusty, full of cobwebs, but something felt wrong. On the table was a small, round object. Not his uncle's. Not from Earth. Lyra walked over and picked it up. A tracer, she whispered. They were here. They're watching. Before Ryan could respond, a buzzing sound filled the room. The tracer glowed red and exploded. Boom. The blast was small, but loud. Smoke filled the cabin. Ryan coughed and stumbled backward. Lyra grabbed his arm. We have to go now. They ran into the forest again. Behind them, the tracer's smoke turned into a glowing mist. It floated upward like a signal. They'll find us again, Lyra said. Then what do? We fight, she said. But first, I need to show you something. They stopped near a large rock. Lyra knelt and opened a hidden panel in the ground. Inside was a metal box. She opened it and took out a crystal which glowed bright blue. This is from my ship, she said. It holds memories, files, names of others like me. Others. You're not the only one. No, there are more. Some are hiding. Some are helping the enemy. Ryan felt a chill. You mean aliens? Living among us? Yes, she said. And not all of them are friendly. As Ryan stared at the glowing crystal, his hand brushed against it. The crystal lit up brighter. Lyra gasped. It responded to you. What does that mean? It means, you're not just human. Ryan stepped back, shocked. What are you saying? Lyra looked at him, serious and calm. You're part of this now, Ryan, and maybe you always were. Ryan couldn't move. Lyra's words echoed in his head. You're not just human. What do you mean? He asked, stepping back from the glowing crystal. It reacted to your touch, Lyra said, still staring at the blue light. It's not supposed to do that unless the person carries alien DNA. That's impossible, Ryan said. I was born here. I've never even left this town. Lyra shook her head. There's more to your past than you know. Before Ryan could reply, The scanner in Lyra's hand started blinking rapidly. The red lights moved in circles, faster and faster. A high-pitched sound followed. They found us. Ryan looked around. The forest was dark, but something was moving fast, shadows between the trees. No footsteps, no voices, just movement. Like ghosts in the night. Lyra grabbed Ryan's hand. Run. They took off, crashing through the bushes, jumping over fallen logs. Behind them, a strange, humming sound started. It wasn't an engine. It was something else, something alive. Ryan looked over his shoulder. His eyes widened. A drone was following them. Black and silent, floating just above the trees. Its front glowed red like an eye, scanning the area. Don't stop, Lyra shouted. The drone shot a beam at the ground, burning the grass in a straight line. Where did that come from? Ryan yelled. They use organic tech, Lyra explained as they ran. Machines that think like animals. It won't stop until we're caught. They jumped down a slope and found a small cave. Lyra pulled Ryan inside and quickly took out a round silver ball from her belt. She threw it toward the entrance. The ball opened mid-air and formed a transparent shield. They won't detect us for a few minutes, she said, breathing hard. Ryan sat down, heart pounding. What do they want with me? If you have alien DNA, she said, then they might think you're a threat or a tool. I'm not a weapon. You could be, Lyra said softly. Or maybe you were part of something, and you just don't remember. Ryan frowned. How would I forget something like that? They wipe memories. It's easy, they've done it before. Ryan suddenly remembered something. A dream. A room filled with white lights. People in masks. A voice saying, he's stable now. Begin the sequence. He never understood that dream. Until now. We need answers, Ryan said. We can't just keep running. Lyra nodded. Then we find the crash site. If the enemy took my ship, it means they're using it. That's dangerous. Where did it crash? In the hills north side of town, near the old warehouse district. Ryan looked up. That place is full of cameras. Exactly, Lyra said. They control it now, but we'll go at night. Carefully. 2 hours later, they reached the edge of the warehouse area. It was quiet, but not empty. Bright lights flickered on top of the buildings. Security drones floated overhead in slow patterns. Ryan and Lyra crawled under a broken fence and moved between crates. Every few minutes, Lyra checked her scanner. This way, she whispered. They reached a large metal door. Lyra placed her hand on it. The scanner blinked green. This is the right place. Inside, the air smelled like smoke and oil. Wires hung from the ceiling. And in the center of the warehouse there, it was her ship. But it looked different now. Parts of it had been removed. Machines surrounded it. Tubes were connected to the engine. And nearby, 2 men in black suits stood with tablets, talking quietly. That's them, Lyra whispered. They're harvesting alien tech. Ryan looked closer. A third person was there. A woman wearing a white coat. She turned, and Ryan gasped. It was his school nurse. What's she doing here? He asked. They're using humans too, Lyra said. Some are helping them, for money, for power. Others don't even know they've been taken. Suddenly, the floor creaked under Ryan's foot. The agents turned. Go, Lyra shouted. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed. The agents pulled out strange weapons, glowing blue at the tips. Ryan and Lyra ran back through the crates. The drones activated, flying down with sharp buzzing sounds. One drone shot at them. The beam hit a crate, which exploded in sparks. Ryan ducked, his arm burning slightly. They reached the fence again. Lyra touched her device, and a flash of light burst from it. The drones froze, shaking midair. It won't last long, she yelled. They escaped through the hole in the fence and ran into the night. Later, they stopped at an abandoned train station, catching their breath. They're taking your tech, Ryan said. They're building something. Yes, Lyra replied. And that means the invasion is closer than I thought. Ryan sat down on a bench. We need help. We can't do this alone. Lyra looked at him seriously. There is someone, she said. But he's dangerous. And he doesn't like humans. Ryan stood up. Then it's time to find him. The sun had not yet risen, but the sky was starting to turn gray. Ryan sat on the edge of a broken train platform, watching clouds drift like slow waves. Lyra stood nearby, fixing a small black device. Who is this person we're going to meet? Ryan asked. Lyra didn't look up. His name is Kale. He's not from my planet, but he's old, very old. He's lived on Earth for over 100 years. Ryan blinked. 100. Lyra nodded. He was one of the first to hide here. Back when the war started. Long before humans knew anything about aliens. Is he friendly? She finally looked at him. Not really. But he hates the ones chasing us more than he hates humans. That's why he might help. Ryan picked up a rock and tossed it onto the train tracks. So, aliens have been on Earth for over a century. Longer, Lyra said. Some live quietly. Some try to protect this planet. But others they work in secret. They want to control Earth from the inside. Ryan frowned. Like those agents. Yes, she said. They're not fully human. Their bodies are mixed with tech and something worse. What worse? Lyra hesitated. Zarn blood. Ryan stood still. He remembered the way those agents moved. The way they didn't blink. The way their voices sounded too smooth. Not natural. The Zarn are parasites, Lyra continued. They can't live long on their own. So they use host human ones. If they can, once inside, they're hard to detect. Hard to stop. Ryan suddenly felt cold. So there could be more people around me. Controlled by them. Lyra looked him in the eyes. Yes, anyone, anywhere. 2 hours later, they reached a hidden tunnel in the hills. Lyra placed her hand on a smooth stone. It blinked and slid open. Inside, stairs went down into darkness. Kale lives below, she said. Stay close. They walked down in silence. The air was warm, filled with the smell of old stone and metal. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls. At the bottom, the tunnel opened into a wide room. Machines hummed quietly. Lights blinked in odd patterns. It looked like a lab, but nothing like Ryan had ever seen. Then a voice echoed through the room. You brought a human. A tall figure stepped out from the shadows. He was not like Lyra. His skin was pale gray. His eyes were yellow, deep, and sharp. His face looked human, but too perfect, like it had been carved from stone. Kale, Lyra said. This is Ryan. We need your help. Kale walked toward Ryan and stared at him. He smells unfinished. His DNA reacted to my crystal, Lyra explained. He's not just human. Kale raised an eyebrow. Interesting. Very rare. Ryan stepped back slightly. I'm standing right here. You know. Kale gave a small smile. Then act like it. Lyra placed a small chip on the table. They've taken my ship. They're building something using my tech. We need to stop them. Kale picked up the chip and placed it into a console. A hologram appeared, showing a satellite image of the warehouse district. New towers were being built. Tall, black, and humming with energy. That's not just a base, Kale said. That's a pulse tower. They're going to release a wave one that activates every Zarn sleeper on Earth. Ryan looked confused. Sleeper. Kale turned to him. Humans who have been infected, but not activated yet. They look normal. They live normal lives. But when that tower sends the signal, they'll change, Lyra finished. And Earth will fall without a war. Ryan stared at the image, his stomach turning. When will they activate it? Kale pressed a button. 2 days. Maybe less. Then we need to destroy it, Ryan said. Kale looked at him. You can barely hold a weapon. Ryan stood tall. Then teach me. There was silence. Then Kale nodded slowly. Very well. The training was hard. Kale taught Ryan how to use energy tools, how to spot hidden Zarn tech, and how to block mental signals. Lyra helped to guiding him gently, encouraging him when he failed. By nightfall, Ryan was bruised, tired, and sore. You did better than I thought, Kale said. I feel like I got hit by a train, Ryan muttered. Lyra smiled. You'll survive. Just then, a sharp beep came from Kale's console. He walked over and checked the screen. They've increased the signal strength, he said. They're testing it. Some sleepers are waking early. Lyra stepped forward, where Kale pointed at the map. Your town. Ryan's heart sank. People I know. Kale looked at him. You have 1 night to rest. After that, we go in. You'll see what this war really looks like. Ryan didn't answer. He just stared at the glowing map and thought about what tomorrow might bring. Ryan didn't sleep that night. He sat near the glowing map, staring at the red dots spreading across his town, his school, the grocery store, the park. Places he knew. Places where people lived, laughed, and now might be controlled by something not human. He felt sick. Lyra came and sat beside him. She handed him a small energy bar. Eat something. You'll need it. I'm not hungry, he said. You're scared, she replied. That's good. Only fools walk into war without fear. Ryan gave her a weak smile. Easy for you to say. You've been training your whole life. I just found out aliens are real. And I might be one. Lyra looked at him carefully. Not alien. Hybrid. There's a difference. Still feels like I don't belong anywhere, he said. She nodded. I felt the same once. Before Ryan could ask more, Cale entered the room. It's time. We're unlocking your memories. Ryan stood. You can really do that. Cale placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder. You were part of a project. They hid it deep inside your mind. But now, it's time to remember. Cale led Ryan to a chair surrounded by glowing rings. Machines above the chair buzzed softly, and symbols lit up around the walls. Lyra stood nearby, holding the crystal that had first reacted to Ryan's touch. Close your eyes, Cale said. Breathe slowly. Let the memory surface. Ryan obeyed. At first, there was only darkness. Then, a flash. Bright white lights. Cold metal walls. He was younger, maybe 6 or 7. He was lying on a table. Machines hovered over him. Voices whispered. Behind glass. He's stable. Add the gene now. Begin phase 3. Ryan twitched in the chair. More images came. He was running down a hallway, holding something glowing in his hand. Behind him, alarms screamed. A tall figure in black armor chased him. Then, nothing. Ryan gasped and opened his eyes. He was sweating. His heart raced. What was that? He asked. Cale looked serious. You were part of a secret program. A human experiment designed to mix alien DNA with Earthborn children. Ryan stood up slowly. Why? To fight the Zarn, Lyra said. Earth's governments were warned long ago. Some believed, some didn't. The ones who believed created the Hybrid Defense Project. Cale continued. You were one of the first. You survived the merging process. But the project was shut down. He raced. Most hybrids were lost. Or killed. But I lived, Ryan said quietly. Yes, Lyra replied. And they wiped your memory to protect you. Ryan paced the room. So my whole life was a lie. No, Cale said. It was hidden but not false. You are still human. Just more. Ryan looked at his hand. It didn't feel different. But now, he understood why strange dreams had haunted him for years. Why he never felt like he fit in. Why technology sometimes acted strange around him. What can I do with this? He asked. Do I have powers? Your DNA is wired for tech control, Cale said. You can connect with machines. Maybe even shut them down with thought. But it takes practice. Can we use that to stop the pulse tower? Ryan asked. Lyra nodded. That's the plan. Cale walked to a shelf and picked up a sleek, silver glove. This will help channel your energy. It's designed for your type. Ryan took the glove and slid it on. It felt warm. Alive. Lights ran through it like veins. Try syncing with this drone, Cale said, placing a deactivated black drone on the table. Ryan focused. The glove glowed faintly. He closed his eyes, reached out with his mind, and suddenly click. The drone came to life. It floated upward, hovered, then slowly circled the room. Ryan's eyes widened. I did that. Cale smiled. Yes, you're ready later. The three stood around a map of the tower's location. Red circles marked the defense zones. Guard patrols. Drones. This is a one-way mission, Cale said. Once we start, there's no turning back. Ryan took a deep breath. I don't care. They're going to use that tower to turn innocent people into monsters. We have to stop it. We will, Lyra said. Together, Cale handed Ryan a small chip. If you reach the tower's core, insert this. It will destroy the signal. What about the guards? Ryan asked. You let us handle them, Cale replied. Your job is the core. Ryan nodded. His heart was pounding, but he felt different now, just scared, but stronger. Like a missing part of him had finally returned. They packed their gear. Lyra placed the crystal inside a shielded pouch. Cale activated a cloaking field around them. Tomorrow, Cale said, Earth learns it's already at war. And as the sun rose, casting gold light over the hills, Ryan knew this wasn't just about him anymore. It was about saving the only home he'd ever known. Night had fallen again. Ryan stood at the edge of a rocky hill, looking down at the black tower in the distance. It rose like a needle from the earth, humming softly. Red lights blinked at its top, and strange waves shimmered around. It like heat in the air. That tower was the enemy's heart, and they had 2 hours before it came alive. Lyra crouched beside Ryan, studying her scanner. They've locked the outer gates. Patrols every 3 minutes. Drones above, and ... The pulse generator has started to warm up. Cale joined them, carrying a heavy case. This is our last chance, he said. If we don't stop the signal before it fully activates, the Zon will take full control of every infected host on Earth. Ryan tightened the silver glove on his hand. Then we hit the core. No mistakes. Kale opened the case, revealing small black devices. Smoke disruptors. They'll give you 30 seconds of invisibility from drone vision. Use them carefully. Lyra handed Ryan a small glass vial. Inside it, the blue crystal shimmered. Keep this close. If anything happens to me or Kale, you'll need it. Ryan took the vial and placed it in a pouch on his belt. He didn't want to think about losing either of them. Kale pointed at the tower on the map. We enter through the east tunnel. It's an old maintenance shaft, still unguarded for now. Once inside, we split. Lyra and I will create noise. You head for the core. Ryan looked at them. What if I can't reach it in time? You will, Lyra said, looking him in the eyes. Because this time, you believe in yourself. Ryan gave a small nod. Let's finish this. The tunnel was damp, cold, and dark. Old wires ran along the walls, and the air smelled like burnt plastic. They moved in silence, every step careful. Above them, the hum of the tower grew louder. When they reached the junction, Kale stopped. This is it, Ryan. Go left. We'll draw the guards to the right. Ryan looked at them both. Be safe. Kale smirked. We never are. They split. Ryan moved quickly down the narrow hallway. Red lights flickered overhead. His glove glowed faintly as he passed by alien tech embedded in the walls. He could feel it calling to him, reacting to his presence. He turned a corner and froze. A guard stood at the door to the core chamber. Not just a guard, a hybrid. Its skin was gray, eyes glowing yellow. Thin cables ran down its arms like veins. It sniffed the air. Ryan ducked behind a crate. His heart pounded. The glove vibrated slightly ready. The guard moved closer. Ryan grabbed one of the smoke disruptors and threw it down. Theft smoke filled the hallway. Ryan dashed through it, slamming into the guard with his shoulder. They tumbled to the ground. The hybrid grabbed his arm, claws digging into his skin. Ryan yelled in pain and raised his gloved hand. Flash dot. A burst of blue light exploded from the glove. The hybrid screeched and fell back, twitching. Ryan stumbled to the door and placed his hand on the panel. It scanned him and unlocked. He ran inside and locked it behind him. The core chamber was beautiful and terrifying. A giant orb floated in the center of the room, glowing with dark red energy. Long black wires pulsed from it, like tentacles. It beat slowly, like a heart dot. This was the signal. This was the weapon. Ryan approached the control panel. His glove synced with it instantly. Symbols appeared, and the system opened. Come on, he whispered. He pulled out Kale's chip and inserted it into the slot. The orb flashed red. Warning. Intrusion detected. No, 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 Ryan panicked, trying to override the alert. The orb let out a low, vibrating hum. The floor shook. Suddenly, a voice spoke behind him. I warned them about you. Ryan turned. It was his old school nurse. Only now, her face was different. Pale, inhuman, her eyes glowing. You're the last hybrid, she said. The final threat, but you won't escape. She raised her hand. Black wires extended from her fingers. Ryan raised his glove just in time, blasting her with blue light. She screamed and flew backward into the wall. He turned back to the panel. Override accepted. Countdown started. He watched as the tower's core turned blue. The red energy began to fade. Then pain exploded in his chest. The nurse had stabbed him, one of her wires piercing through his side. Ryan fell to his knees. She leaned over him, blood dripping from her mouth. You die with your planet. But then a blast. Lyra appeared, eyes blazing, gun in hand. She fired again. The nurse collapsed. Kale followed, badly wounded. Ryan looked up at them, weak but smiling. I did it. It's shutting down. Lyra knelt beside him, holding his hand. You did more than that. You saved Earth. Outside, the tower flickered. Then it collapsed, sending a wave of blue light into the sky. Across the world, Zarn hosts fell unconscious. The signal was dead. Ryan closed his eyes. Lyra whispered, stay with me. His last thought, before everything faded. I'm not just human. I'm hope. Ryan opened his eyes slowly. The world was a blur, shapes, lights, and distant voices. His body felt heavy, like he was sinking underwater. Then, a soft voice broke through the haze. Ryan, you're awake. It was Lyra. He turned his head. She sat beside him, her arm wrapped in bandages, her silver hair messy but still glowing faintly in the low light. Where are we? Ryan asked, his voice weak. You're in Kale's underground chamber. We brought you back after the tower fell. Ryan blinked. The signal. Gone, she said. You stopped it. The pulse never reached the infected. The Zon lost their control. Ryan tried to sit up, and a sharp pain shot through his side. Don't move too fast, Lyra said, placing a hand on his shoulder. You took a hit from a Zarn host. Most people wouldn't have survived it. But I did. Lyra smiled gently. Because you're not like most people. Just then, Kale entered the room. He looked older than before, tired, wounded, but proud. You've done what others failed to do for decades, he said. You stopped the invasion before it started. Ryan took a deep breath. Is it really over? Kale's smile faded. No. The tower was only one part of their plan. The Zon still exists. And they're angry. They'll come back. With more force. Lyra added. But Earth is no longer blind. People are waking up. More hybrids will remember. More defenders will rise. Kale placed a small device on the table. It displayed a map, dots blinking across the globe. Across the world, old labs are starting to activate. Hybrids like you, hidden, forgotten, are waking up. The Earth defense network is rebuilding. Ryan stared at the map. So what? Now, do I just go home and pretend none of this happened? Kale shook his head. You can never go back to who you were. You've crossed a line. You've become something more. Lyra stood beside him. You have a choice. Ryan, stay here, train, help lead the fight, or return to the life you knew, and leave this behind. Ryan looked down at his hands. Once, they were just the hands of a regular boy playing games, mowing lawns, drawing silly sketches during school. Now, they could control machines, shut down alien tech, and light up with blue energy. He wasn't that boy anymore. He didn't want to be. He looked at Lyra. If I stay, I'll fight with you. She nodded. Side by side, we'll train others. We'll protect Earth together. He turned to Kale. And you've led this battle for a long time, Kale said. But it's time for new voices. New strength. You are part of Earth now, its defender. Its hope. Ryan stood up. Still sore, but steadier. Then I stay. I'm not running anymore. Weeks passed. Ryan trained with Kale, learning how to stretch the limits of his hybrid mind. He could now sense energy signals miles away, control drones without touching them, and break through Zon shields with focused thought. Lyra taught him combat, how to fight smart, not just hard. They became a team, trusted, connected. One night, while walking through the old garden where it all began, Ryan paused near the spot where he first saw Lyra. I used to think this was just a normal place, he said. Safe, quiet. Lyra looked around. It still is. Because of you. Ryan smiled. Do you ever miss your planet? Lyra nodded. Every day, but now, Earth is worth fighting for. It gave me something I never had before. What's that? She smiled. A reason to hope. Suddenly, Ryan's comm device buzzed. Kale's voice came through. Urgent signal. Northern sky. Something's entering orbit. Lyra and Ryan looked at each other. The Zon, he asked. Maybe, she said. Or something worse. Ryan turned to her. You ready? Lyra activated her arm shield. Always. Ryan held up his glove. The blue light pulsed steadily. Strong. Focused. They ran toward the rising moon, ready for whatever was coming. Because now, Ryan knew the truth. He wasn't just a boy from a quiet town. He was a warrior. A hybrid on Earth was his home. Final scene months later. Hidden base under the Arctic. New recruits stood in formation. Some were human. Some were hybrids. Some looked like neither. But they all had one thing in common: loyalty to Earth. Ryan stood at the front, wearing upgraded armor, the blue crystal pulsing on his chest. He looked out at them, his voice calm and clear. You've been chosen because you are different. That difference is your strength. The Zarn are watching, waiting. But we are ready. This planet isn't theirs to take. Not now. Not ever. He raised his hand, and the room lit up with energy. Behind him, Lyra smiled. Earth wasn't just fighting back. Earth was rising.